we have a few people that want to ask questions from the audience as well. So let's try and get to some of those here in the last couple minutes. I want to start with Dr. Ari Brown. She's a pediatrician in Austin, Texas. She led the group which wrote the American Academy of Pediatrics Guidelines on Screen Time, which basically says no screen time at all for kids younger than 2. And I would say, Dr. Brown, this is something that I think all parents probably wrestle with, myself included. Where did those guidelines come from? And I mean, I don't want this to come off the wrong way, but what are the children supposed to be doing instead? Because they do spend a lot of time looking at screens right now.
Right. You know, the policy came out 15 years ago, and it was largely ignored by media and industry and parents who said, you know, I just need 30 minutes to cook dinner, and Elmo has never killed a toddler, which, by the way, is true, and we love Elmo, so just putting that out there. So we looked at the data 3 years ago and said, you know, here's our new policy based on all this data. Kids under 2, they just don't learn. It's not educational. It's entertaining, but not educational. And they can do so much with independent playtime. So that's what we recommend is, you know, it's amazing what you can do with some Tupperware and some wooden spoons. I mean, kids will come up with great ideas. The other thing that we worry about with screens is that it reduces the talk time between parent and child by 85% when the screen is on. And so that's what's so concerning, because we know talk time is critical to language and social development for kids.
And did you, based on this discussion, did you have a question as well for our panel?
I do. And so, you know, one of the things we've struggled with at the AAP is we don't have any policy statement in place on interactive media and apps. We get lots of questions, but technology is faster than science. And so really my question is, you know, mostly to Dr. Trulio is, you know, what do we do with interactive media? You know, is that an opportunity for kids to learn?
Yeah, I'm going to answer that in 1 second, because what I do want to say is background television is detrimental. So that's another example of us not truly understanding what's going on in the minds of children. So often I hear parents say, well, the television on, but my baby is not paying attention. Well, your baby is listening to that television. And as they get older, we've looked at their play, and we know that if the TV is on the background, it does disrupt their play patterns as well, in addition to what you said, a reduction in language because of the parent-child, the lack of parent-child interaction, because everyone's looking at the screen. We agree with the Academy of Pediatrics, but what we're also learning now is that above 18 months, between 20 and 24 months, there's some interesting studies that are coming out that we know that babies can learn through media. And so what we're trying to do on Sesame Workshop is, how do we harness the power of technology to provide developmentally appropriate educational experiences for those children who may not have the parent who is always there on the floor and interacting. That is ideal. We know babies do learn best through parent-child interactions. Now you have these other screens, which we have all seen the commercials, where the baby is swiping. They can point and swipe on these screens, and so when you give them a book, they don't know what to do with it. So what they do is they keep poking the book, because why is it not responding? And I think that's going to be affecting some of our executive function skills as we grow older as well. So what I want to say is that not all screens are the same. Not all content is the same. So what I want to make sure that people understand is that just because content is on an interactive medium doesn't necessarily make that content or educational experience a better experience because you are interacting with it. You have to look at the content. You have to see the reason why that content was created. What is the intention of having time with that media content? And that's what we give a lot of thought to. The content that we create is research-driven, and it's designed from a curriculum, a whole child curriculum, so that we're teaching not just the academic skills, but those social and emotional skills as well as those health skills. Now, I'm going to encourage parents that they should be a part of that digital experience. And what we have to urge industry to do, as we did 45 years ago, we brought the parent into the television viewing experience. Where are the games that bring the parent in to a co-play experience, so that the parent or caregiver can build upon those educational moments?